is a game that we really, in most instances, would have lost. And yes, Dak did his part to almost lose it for us. That's not ignoring that. But in the end, when it comes down to it, Dak Prescott played a huge role in us winning that game, if not the biggest role in us winning that game down the
He
wire.
almost he almost played a big part of us losing that game too.
Fact. Welcome to another session with them Dennis boys on this Whiskey Wednesday. You got your boy B.
Debo.
EJ.
Here to talk about this Cowboys overnight victory they got against the Steelers Sunday night. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to start off with the offense. What y'all guys think about it?
Go ahead, Debo. You know you're chopping at the bits. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess I would have to say overall, I mean, I guess we did good per se. Started out a little shaky. Feel like had a lot of stuff to clean up throughout the game. I'm just glad we kept our perseverance to actually come through and win the game. But I'm not happy with, of course, number 4, turning the ball over when we got the lead, in good situations down in the red zone. And I just really feel like that's the stuff that really needs to be pointed out. Everything else, I don't have no issue with him in terms of, getting the ball down to the red zone. But the most important thing that we want you to do is take care of the ball. And I just feel like he's really not focusing in on not turning the ball over when we'll need him to. Like, the defense is playing well. Like, don't spit in their face by turning the ball over. You know what I mean? So it's like
situational awareness.
Exactly, and that is my biggest issue with him. With Tyler Guyton, I mean, I'm not saying I'm happy that he got injured, but I think it was a blessing in terms of that game because I feel like we adjusted more with him being out, kicking Tyler Smith to the tackle, in which I feel like that's where he should be anyway. I think now they get to see that with him being out. And then, TJ Bass did a great job filling in. And I feel like we got the run game going, and you have to give it up to Rico Dotto, who's able to see those holes and get up the field in the way we need to. And, of course, it opened up the throws. Right. So I feel like it opened the throws up, and that's the way we need to play against everybody. Right. And I feel like we wouldn't struggle at all. So that's my spiel.
So what say you, Pops?
I says, offensively, I think that the wide receivers did a better job this game in terms of helping out the quarterback, specifically Jalen Tolbert. He made some big catches for us. CD got in where he could get in. And we didn't lose a stride because he didn't have his most effective game or most looks, but then we know what he was facing in terms of defensive pressure. Looking at the offensive line, I think they did a really admirable job in terms of what our production was. Number one, meaning getting Rico Dowdle up the field. He had some pretty big runs, and this is a tribute to him as well as the line. He hit the holes fast. He hit them hard, and it showed in his production. I think he had like 117 yards. That was a great effort. We sustained an injury, as Devin alluded to earlier. We patched in another player, made some moves, and we didn't miss a hitch. Um, I think this is very admirable, a good adjustment. Um, Getting back to number four, Dak Prescott, that Devin brought up. A lot of times it's easy. That's the easiest position on the field to find fault with. The interceptions he threw, not making an excuse for those because there aren't any excuse. But it's always easy to find fault on offense with the head man on the field, which is the quarterback. I prefer to look at the positives um, that he did. One, that last 70-yard scoring drive that he took down the field was huge. I mean, he made some great passes. Um, when we got down there, Rico Dowdle fumbled the ball. Most importantly, more than any play in that entire game for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott jumped on that ball as opposed to standing up watching it. That doesn't happen, we don't win. Just the bottom line. And
I
the
wish.
next most important point is he made a great throw to end the game with a good total Talbot. That was a
Mm-hmm.
good offensive call by the offensive coordinator, and it panned out perfectly. Ended with a nice laser pass to Tolbert to win the game. Um, like I said, I prefer to look at the positives of the game. If you look at that game as a whole, specifically from the offensive standpoint, uh, it's a game that we really, in most instances, would have lost. Um, and yes, Dak did his part to almost lose it for us. That's
Mm-hmm.
not ignoring that. But in the end, when it comes down to it, Dak Prescott played a huge role in us winning that game, if not the biggest role in us winning that game down the
He
wire.
almost he almost played a big part of us losing that game too. Let me
Fact.
add
I
that
think
in
I,
there now.
I alluded to that just now. I did say that.
We
You
wouldn't
can't
have been in
ignore it.
those situations, but whatever. I mean, I
You
get what
can't
you're saying.
ignore it, but you can't
I get what you're
ignore
saying.
you can't continually ignore the good things that he does as well. You want
But you
to. I mean,
can't
it's easy to
excuse the
find
bad
things.
things either.
We don't. There's no excuses. I think I alluded to that as well, sir. I just said that he
Mm-hmm.
made some inexcusable passes. I mean, it's going to happen. You're a quarterback. You're going to throw some picks. Told me a quarterback that don't throw any picks, and I'll show you the next thing best next to Jesus. It's just going to
It,
happen.
it,
But
but you know what?
um,
It's not the interceptions that bothers us. It's the how you throw the interception bothers us. When the
Mm-hmm.
person's just not open, you're trying to
there's no
no
good
listen.
way to throw an interception. The
No, when you're
interception
trying to
is an
force a
interception.
pass, that's not a good look. Like especially when we're in the red zone, what are you taking a chance for? Like get the three
But then
points
we always say
it-
the quarterback's not being aggressive enough. A lot now, with the exception
but
of that pass,
that's not even being aggressive though. That was nowhere near a good throw.
with the exception
You
with the
know that CeeDee
exception
Lamb
of
is
that
being
pass,
double teamed
with the
underneath
exception of that
and over the
pass,
top.
with the exception of that pass to CD in the end zone when he wasn't open, the one that he slightly overthrew
Nah, that
was
wasn't
not
slightly.
not a bad. It wasn't bad. Now that was CD. That would have been a catch. It's
That
just that
was
you throw it to a shorter receiver. But
nah.
I'm just not one, and this is just me. I'm just not one to heap the blame so much on the quarterback when it's a 22 man on the field sport. It's just that it's easy to do that. And what I hate is that, okay, case in point, most of the sports shows that I watched this morning and yesterday morning regarding the game, most of the analysts said that Dak Prescott, with the exception of the interceptions, was the one that won the game for us to a man. Even someone that never gives us props, which is Shannon Sharp. I mean, he gave him his praises for the game that he played. So also, what's the man named Ryan, Rex Ryan? He had some praise for him. So I listen to these guys. I listen to these shows, and really, when I listen to them, I expected most of them to sound like you, Devin, in terms of your assessment of Dak Prescott. I was pleasantly surprised to see that they did see the good that he did and express that nationally.
But you know why I don't really kind of pay attention to those guys is because it's hypothetically say Tolbert drops that pass, perfect pass, put on the money, he drops it, or it's knocked out his hand. Man, their take will be totally different. Like they wouldn't even go into that direction and say, "Oh yeah, well
But
that
but they're not
almost won the
making
game."
their
They would not
assessment.
say that.
They're, they're
They
not
wouldn't say
making their
that.
assessment on what could have happened. They're making their assessment on what actually happened. There's a
My point
difference.
exactly, but I'm just telling you why I don't listen to them because I'm gonna be real about the situation at hand. Like that pass was an excellent pass in that moment, but we're talking about the passes leading up to us being in that situation in which we wouldn't have if you didn't do what you did. So I'm saying if you didn't
And
force
I'm
that ball in that
and
situation,
and I'm going to
we'd have been
defer to
killing the
my
clock.
originals, and I'm going to defer to my original statement. And we're going to let Brandon say what he has to say. But it's always easy to find fault with the quarterback on a team. He's the most recognizable. He's the most outstanding person on the offense. So he's going to take the good and he's going to definitely have to accept the bad. But in most cases, it's
But
normally the bad that people point out, especially in the instance of Dak Prescott. And I, for one,
but you
I don't think he deserves
but you have to
all of
tie
that
in
attention.
you have to tie in the amount of money he's making now.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if you're not making the amount that he's making, then we can have that attitude. But
So
if
so so if so if he was making ten
Daniel
thousand
Jones
dollars,
money.
if he was
correct,
making
if he haven't done
$10,000,
it, I can't. It's nothing not to say. You get
may I
what you
say
pay
this,
for.
please, sir? May I express this?
Go
So if
ahead.
he was making $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year, as opposed to the contract he had now, then we can excuse his performance.
Absolutely,
For
you get
Oh
sure.
what you pay for.
hell no, hell
So
no!
if I
Nah,
go buy a
I'm not even
Lamborghini,
gonna let y'all say
that
that.
Lamborghini better run. I'm
No,
Fact.
telling you.
Because,
the
hey,
dollar
because
amount
you
has
got a Honda, you can
dollars.
put Lamborghinis around you.
I
Right.
respectfully disagree. I respectfully disagree. The dollar amount that someone makes should not have any bearing on their performance. You should not perform any better on a football team as a professional if you're making $10 an hour or if you're making $10 million every two games. You should not. It should
No.
not reflect in your performance. As a professional, your performance should be across the board. If you're a professional, dollars should not impact what you do. And there's no difference in that in Dak Prescott or Deshaun. Look at Deshaun Watson. He's looking like garbage now. He's not looking like garbage because he got a
But
two hundred
he
sixty
got
million dollar contract. He's
he
just
got
playing
on the
like
field
garbage
issues.
because of how he's lived his life. It's just a bad thing. He's going through a bad thing. His head never recovered. But you don't tie dollars to performance. That's not what should influence performance.
Why not?
You're
But
being a
how do you set
professional.
the standard?
To influence. Pardon
Thank
me?
you.
How do
Your
you set the
performance
standard
sets the
for a
standard.
player?
Your performance sets the standard.
And doesn't your performance dictate your
The
salary?
person you are, the person you are, and the pride you take in your job sets the standard. Your performance sets the standard, not a dollar.
what is
The
your salary based
dollars
on?
are for owners to determine your value to their team, but your performance should not be driven by the amount of money you make or don't make. That's just me, fellas. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
point
Devin,
taken.
Brandon, go ahead. Give me your
All
spiel.
right. My spill on the offense, the line did their thing. Even though Guyton went down, kicking Tyler out he's on the natural thing to do. And especially when you got a veteran inside line, off in the lineman like TJ Bass sitting there just resting and ready to go. So that was evident in the run game. We had, I think, a total of 9 yards total. Dowdle had 87 of those. Dowdle looked real good to me, man. Like we should have ran the ball even more. He carried it 20 times for 4.4 yards a carry, man. So he was toting the thing. Besides the fumble, man, Dowdle looked good, man. He looked like a number one back for real, for real. That catch he had was amazing. That that was a good thing. Dak, he was sharing the load, Paul's on with the receiving core. And one thing that stands out to me is Ferguson might be our most consistent receiver that we got.
He legit.
Yeah, he hits
legit.
that 6'7", 5'6'7",
I can agree.
Yeah.
And we see him grow. And I mean, every step of the way.
Yeah, he don't drop much. Yeah, he don't drop much. Turpin is I've been saying that he's a proven and reliable target that Dak needs.
But that's coaching. It's always been coaching. They just never gave him a chance.
He won't be on the field.
They're just now getting the memo that we had the whole time in terms of Turpin. They're just now seeing that he can do these things.
But that's why you got him, though. He was the offensive player of the year in the other league. Like, he was a receiver. Like, that's why you got him. He's dynamic, period. Like, he's just not a one-trick pony. And you can tell he's frustrated. You know what I'm saying? When he don't get a successful play. But overall, man, offensively, it was cool, man. It seemed like we were dominating the game until we had the turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Dak caused 3 of those turnovers. As an elite quarterback, having 3 turnovers on your plate in one game is unacceptable for me. You know what I'm saying? At that game, we should have went into halftime up by at least 2 scores for sure. Mm-hmm. That game should have been out of hand by the fourth quarter, especially how we were running the ball. You, like Debo said, man, you can't afford to turn the ball over in the red, especially in the red zone. We was on the 15. We was on their 15 in the second quarter with 57 seconds to go. Like, you got to get some points right there. That's momentum going into the halftime. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to be aware of the situations. You know what I'm saying? And then scramble, get out and roll out. Every time he rolls out and scrambles, you don't have to scramble to run. Scramble to buy your second tier receivers to get open and come back to you. Like when he does that, good things happen. But that's what the league is going to. You see how Jalen Daniels is out there balling because he's out there patient. He got a good time, good ticker in that pocket. When it's time to get up out of there, he rolls out casually. If it's open, he takes it. If not, he waits till the receivers come open. That's what all these good quarterbacks are doing. Kyler Murray, he's small and short.
Right.
He does that all day long.
Hey, them boys got some wheels though.
They do, but he don't always run. Like he could run more, but he want to throw it first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
but you guys, in terms of Dak Prescott, I mean, you can say what you want to say about what he doesn't do, but at the end of the day, and at the end of the year, when the numbers come out, and the numbers, as my son Brandon Dennis always reminds us, the numbers don't lie, and his numbers are always top tier.
And guess what? Them 3 turnovers do not lie. Yeah. You're right about that.
But I'm not, and I've already said I'm not discounting the turnovers. But what I'm telling y'all
the issue with him, though.
You guys are dwelling so much. You're dwelling so much on the negative plays that he made that you're pretty much just ignoring the fact that he won the game for us in the end. A 70-yard drive, a clutch recovery of a fumble, and a dart pass to win the game. How you going to ignore that, even though the man did have 3 turnovers?
You're putting unnecessary stress on the defense. If you're playing a good, clean game.
In the end, he did what he was supposed to do, which was win a football game for us. Give him credit for winning the football game for us.
No, give him credit for making the game hard and then winning the game for us.
Right. It matters not. The bottom line is you want the victory. The bottom line is you're trying to get the W. He got the W for it. Give the man credit for that. You guys are so hard on the man.
He threw a pick in the fourth quarter.
It's like you guys are looking for him to make mistakes so you can dwell on it.
I'm saying, but if you want to be real technical about it, he wasn't even the one who drove down the field. We ran the ball down the field. He made a couple of key passes, yes, but we ran the
Dowdle
ball.
ran the thing.
That'll,
his passes
no.
have helped extend that drive.
I mean,
Dowdle didn't run for 70 yards in that drive.
I'm just saying,
And on that last drive,
whoop-de-doo, he did his job. But Datto did have a big part in that last drive for sure.
Facts.
Oh, no one's doubting that. No one's doubting that.
But you're trying to give Dak all the credit, like he just miraculously did something.
Negative. I think I gave praise. And
he did what he's supposed to do.
I think I named a number of players who contributed to that victory besides Dak Prescott. Not just it, but conversely, you guys are giving him all the credit for why we almost didn't win, as opposed to giving him any credit for what he did to win the ball game.
I'm not giving him all that credit.
We're just looking at the big picture.
We wouldn't have been in that situation.
Looking at the big picture, we're playing a really good team or a team that had a decent offense. That's an L.
Even Justin Fields didn't turn the ball over that much. Come on, you got to look at the spectrum, the whole spectrum. Justin Fields threw one interception to Dak Prescott's 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions.
And who won the game? But who won the ball game?
That's team wise. We're talking quarterback play.
The defense rests.
Who was in the best situation? That's what I'm telling you.
It matters not. Who won the game is what really matters.
Yeah, of course. At the end of the result,
you can pick any performance apart. You can pick any performance apart, but at the end of the day, what are you trying to achieve? You're trying to get that W. We got the W. Of
course, absolutely. But as a Cowboys fan, I'm not delusional either. So I'm going to point out the things that are most important that I see.
No one's asking you to be delusional. We're just asking you to be fair across the board in terms of
I'm being all the way fair,
especially of the quarterback.
All right, but
defense.
We got to give Jalen Tolbert his love first, man. He had a hell of a game, man, to make some very memorable.
And who threw Jalen Tolbert those balls? Thank you,
man. But either way, he had 10 targets, 7 catches.
He didn't throw himself the ball.
87 yards and a touchdown.
He did his job. That's it.
He did.
Yeah, but. Yeah, Jalen did his thing.
But Dak had like 300.
He looked like what we heard about in camp about him. So
Dak had like 300 something yards passing. Is that correct?
Yeah, 352, 29 for 42, 352 yards.
That's a yeoman's job.
2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks.
I will grant him 1 turnover. Cool. I will grant him 1.
Fact. At 60
but 3 turnovers.
Can you grant him a W for that win? That's all I'm asking.
That fumble,
but that's not a win against a winning team, though. We know Steelers ain't like that.
Gentlemen, that sounds like genuine hate you guys throwing out there. Come on,
keeping it real. It's not hate.
Well, anyway, defense. What y'all think about that
defense? Move on to the defense.
Devo, what you think about that D? Paul.
Man, defense played amazing. Like I told y'all before, I predicted this because I just feel like Parsons is a big distraction to the defense because he's not bringing the energy he's supposed to bring as a leader, per se. That, like I said, too, we're missing Tank. I feel like that's probably the biggest person we miss because he helps stop the run game. But, man, you can tell, man, like with Zimmerman's defense, you can tell that his system was working because we was holding him to 3, we was getting stops. And, of course, your boy was turning the ball over, so therefore they still, was on their heels. Mm-hmm. So, they did an excellent job. They bounced back, got stops, gave Dak plenty of opportunities to actually be in the situation we was in to win the game. Right. So, hats off to them. Mm-hmm. Definitely hats off to the defense. Defense showed out.
For sure. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna say they showed up and showed out because that was a hell of an effort by the team. Missing some key players, and they are missing some key players, but you couldn't tell because I don't know if it was just the personnel was out there or the guys have a different mindset or whatever. But they were flying around the field, making tackles. They were making sure
assignment football.
Yeah,
assignment football.
I only saw a couple of instances where we didn't stay at home where it cost us, but overall, the job they did was excellent. We wrapped up when
Mhm.
needed to. We got some losses. We had some blitzes, which we hardly ever see these days.
True.
Right.
So they were doing some things out there that definitely opened some eyes, especially for the Steelers, because I'm sure they weren't expecting that, knowing that they were playing against a team that was missing, at least two of their top defensive players, two or three of their top
Mm-hmm.
defensive players. So I'm sure we caught them by surprise in terms of how we reacted, in terms of how we played, and the intensity in which we played. So
Mhm.
hats off to the defense. Um, I just hope that same defense shows up with an even bigger attitude and a bigger chip on their shoulder this upcoming week.
True that. True that. Yeah. Them boys are flying around. Like you said, they're looking a lot more aggressive, a lot more lively. It looked like Zimmerman made some adjustments. The boys look a lot better. Look more like week one, how they looked that week. I saw they injected Linval Joseph, who got two tackles in there and a sack, for 14-yard loss. That's big.
Mhm.
You can keep producing that. Shoot, we might have us a win. I mean, at 35 years old, I mean, he's still producing. Shoot, you won't come at a
But
cheap
you
price.
you hate to lose players,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes that could be a blessing because then you actually find out what you have sitting on your bench,
That's
which
true.
Right.
will improve you when those guys finally come back. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
we just saw that this
And
past
true.
weekend.
And
I mean,
and
yeah.
truthfully, I think these coaches too spend too much time trying to satisfy these big time players, these superstars, and I feel like they go away from what they believe in, what defense is or offense is. Like they try to satisfy the player. Like it's just too much of that. So once you see them players go down, you start to actually see that their system may work. Like their system probably does work.
True.
And to add on and to add on to what you said, when these guys do come back and they see how these guys been playing, they're gonna have to step their game up, to
Mm-hmm.
Right.
match or better what happened in their absence. I mean, if you ask any of those guys that didn't play in that last game, honestly, if they think we'd win that game and thought the defense would play like they did, I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't have responded, positively about what the outcome would be. So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that's going to drive their game up, make them play better, and hopefully make us better as a team down the wire. If we could just keep getting a W here and there in the first half of the season, it's going to be because it's a lot of uh, 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 even play around the league. That's not the word I really
A
want
lot
to
of
use, but
parity.
a lot of parity. Thank you, there, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Around the league right now. So we're seeing some teams that are losing games that everyone think they should win, and vice versa. So who knows what it's going to be down the wire? If we could just stay close to
Mm-hmm.
those leaders that we need to stay close to, hey, anything is better than possible down the wire.
That's real. That's real. I mean, the depth is showing, man. I mean, you got, Golston came in. He had 4 or 5 tackles. Mozzie had 3 solos and one half tackle. That's a good sign, man. He's starting to
Mm-hmm.
produce. That's really
Trending
good,
up.
man. So I think his confidence is growing.
Right.
Wheat came in, had 2 tackles and half a sack. Him and Carl Lawson came in and got a half a sack. Carl Lawson
Yeah,
had
we
some
forgot
flashes
about
too.
those. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those
He had a
guys were
tackle
there.
for a
Yeah.
loss. He's strong in the running game too. Him and Tank together gonna be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's my man name? Amani Oruware. He's he filling in really good, man. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
great thing for us to have out there, especially at that
Hey,
side of the
hey,
six two.
hey! Props to you for getting his name right.
Yeah. From now on, he gonna be Amani O. Amani O. Y'all gonna know what we're talking about.
Hey, so
Number 27.
that's a warning to the listeners, to the viewers.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
We gonna be a Mario.
Fact. Kendrick's leading the charge, man. He has about 6, 7 tackles at least. Overshown,
Overshown.
Overshown.
Mm-hmm.
He had 6 solo. So that boy there,
But
he
man,
got it.
did you see? But
Energy
did you
different,
see?
bro.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you see just his reaction? Just how his attitude, his
Passion,
swag.
passion.
I mean, he loves to play,
Yeah.
and he plays well, and
Yeah.
he's outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a stand. It's like any guy you see in the crowd. He's outstanding with his play, and
Facts.
boy, he has potential to be an All Pro.
You can be for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Malik Hooker had a pretty good game, man. He had a lot of flashes in that game.
He sure dropped the pick too.
Oh my gosh, did he? And that ain't like him. That was
That
he
ain't
ain't
like
gonna
him at
drop no
all.
easy ones.
Yeah,
He hit the arm.
they hit him in a bad place.
Man, did it. Sheesh.
Oh man,
J. Lou, man. J. Lou. I'd say, man, that's the best slot corner in the league, man. I'm gonna keep saying that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boy legit.
Yeah.
Boy
hey,
legit.
ask that guy he body slammed. He might share that.
Yeah, he ain't gonna bark up that tree no more.
He little boy him for sure.
For sure. He's
Pick on
son.
that no more.
Yeah. We did lose Marshawn Nealon to a torn meniscus. He'd be I don't know,
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. That's what it was. 4 to 6 weeks on him. So we're down another DN, but I don't know. They probably have to go pull some strings in the free agent market, man. I don't think Carl Lawson and Goldston gonna be able to hold it down, and we're gonna have to get some more bodies in there.
Right.
But other than that, man, defense did their thing, man. That's probably the second best, I guess, performance throughout the year. With their back against the wall from 3 turnovers, they responded very well. So, that's a great sign. Hopefully, don't have to face that throughout the year. If they don't, they could be a special unit for real, for real.
My takeaway from this game,
Mm-hmm.
besides the fact that we won it, is we showed that identity this game. We show we have some fight, that we're not just out there going through the motion. This game showed me a lot in terms of our team. Matter of fact, it gave me hope where prior to there wasn't much hope. I'm encouraged by what I saw.
That's true.
I'm optimistic again in terms of what our future can be. I'm not so gloom and the doom when it comes to Dallas Cowboys now, as much as we hear on TV about how good we aren't.
Mm-hmm.
I felt this game gave us some hope. We won against a team that was a contender. They were like 3-1.
They're 3-1.
Played
Yeah,
us,
they had a good start.
and they had a good start. They had good play, and for us to have a win at their home, mind you, in a delayed game, a game that was
3-0. 3-0 on the road.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm encouraged by that.
Yeah, I feel you on that. You got any closing remarks, Debo?
Nah, man. Like I said, I love the energy, man. I just hope they continue just to try to, hold it off until the big boys come back. Hopefully, the big boys see the energy that these boys is bringing, and I hope we get to see more tape. You know what I mean? To see like Overshown, keep growing. See all these young players keep growing, man. Like it's so exciting to watch them fight each and every week. You know what I mean? Despite of what we got going on. So this is a lovely sight, man. It might brew into something that we might like. So
Yeah, you're right, man. You never know. We got potential. We definitely do. A lot of pressures on the coaching staff for sure. A lot of pressure on Dak. He's got to hold it together, man, and just make the right plays. Don't hurt the team.
that's it.
And take some onus on your shoulders, man, and carry the load for real, for real. Like you done made it. You got 2 extensions under your belt. It's time to go ahead and pay the piper, man. So
True.
we're rooting for you, despite the critiques.
I can't tell.
Hey, but it's Cowboys first. It's the team.
Right.
Players come and go. Players come
I
and
ain't
go.
mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
This
I
is
ain't
what it's
mad
all
at
about. You got to put the team first. So he need to do the same thing, man, and take them boys where they need to go. I mean, we can do it. But
but what people need to remember is you know, Jerry Jones said we were all in, and we didn't do anything in terms of free agency over
Well,
the year.
today he
But
said we're in a soft rebuild, and what he said today.
that's what I didn't hear that. That's the latest memo.
I missed that one.
Yeah, he says
I
we're in a soft
definitely missed
rebuild.
that one.
He admits that now.
Oh
So,
yeah, well,
I mean that's exactly what I thought it was anyway. So
what is that?
Right.
What exactly is a soft
when
rebuild?
you don't tear
What
down
does that even
everything
mean?
and everybody, but you let a lot of guys walk because your cap is
That's just
tied up.
that's just a safety net. It's just a safety net.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a safety net to where if we win, we was all in. If we lose, hey, you kind of heard me say, I don't know, we got these injuries and all kind of excuses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. It's a safety net.
Yeah. Pretty much just a easy excuse to get by,
Yeah, but you should have said that. Should have said that 4 months ago.
Yeah. It'd been a lot better. But
A
anyway,
lot better. No,
on that
6
note,
months ago.
for sure. On
When
that note,
we started losing those free agents to other teams, and we
facts,
not pick up any,
facts.
should have said that. Then he would have looked brilliant in terms of what he said, and
True.
then we wouldn't have to be explaining what we're explaining now based on his original statement.
Facts. All right, on that note, about to close this session out on this Whiskey Wednesday. Appreciate y'all joining us for another session. Till next time, keep liking, commenting, subscribing.